Right, hello people. Back again with another video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over something. Someone asked me a couple of questions. Other garages, not necessarily people on the internet, it was other garages who've been speaking to, who were a bit confused about what to use on when using forscan on this one. I'm going to do 1 second, just drop something. On this car, it's gonna be a mondeo. There's a couple of options that you can change about on these. So let's have a look. So we're in the body control module. Most things that how the car works is done in the body control module. You need to be really careful when you're messing around with this because you can run into some problems. Now, auto stop start, as you can see. If you stop start's got to be the worst invention in the world. It destroys flywheels and it destroys start motors. Mondeo's not so bad on the start motors because they have a pre-engagement on the start motors. They also hold the engine under a certain compression when you shut down when you come to the lights and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't like them because it just damages engine parts. You know, there's no saving. There's no saving in the use of stop start because you will pay for it in the end by replacing parts on your car. You know, over a year you might save £100, but after 4 or 5 years, you're gonna have to replace a flywheel. So you throw your labour on that. Depends on where you are in the country. It could be anything between 250 in labour up to £600-700 in labour. If you're taking it to Ford, they're going to charge you the best part of £1,000 just in labour before you actually pay for any parts. So that's one thing people like to change is the auto stop start. And as you see there, it says additional changes required in IPC. That's in the clocks, obviously, because you switch things on and off from there. Next one, axle ratio. You're not going to touch that. Battery monitor, leave it alone. Don't mess with your battery monitor. For the simple fact being, if your ECU's not monitoring the battery and there's something draining it, it won't know to shut everything down. Next one, axle ratio, battery monitor, state of charge. Now, if you've got a battery, as you can see there, it's set to 80. If you've got a battery on its last legs, you can get a little bit more life out of it. You know what, it's 90 quid from Ford for a battery for one of these. Well, it is for us. I say 90 quid, I don't know how much it is to the general public. But because we have an account with Fords and we, you know, I think we've got about 98-ish Fords on our fleet. You know, so they like to keep us sweet. You know, we do have jokes with the parts department. We actually buy more parts that are from, it's not People's no more. Well, it is People's, but the parts department is Parts Plus. It's not People's Parts no more, it's Parts Plus. Same place, same building, same staff, same stuff you're buying. It's all Ford parts that you're buying. But we have a joke with them that we buy more than what the People's do themselves. So obviously, you know, we get a bit of a discount. Now you're going to get a bit more life out of that battery, say it's a cold winter and stuff like that. You know, take it up to about 90% charge. Just gives that battery an extra bit of charge on it. Battery type, which is another one. You can change it from I don't even think these are 90s. These are, I don't know why it says 90. I'm sure that 110 amp hour, but you can change it, and that's all to do with the way the car charges the battery up for future use. Without cruise control, now I'm sure this has got cruise control. Let's have a look. It has got cruise control, so I don't know why it's saying on there that it hasn't got cruise control. I don't even know. That's a strange one. Right, corner light mode for fog lights. Come on, the standard. Some people don't like it. I don't see the point why you don't. If anything, if you forget to put your indicator on your turn and it gives the person coming towards you a warning. If yours aren't working, or you've got a car that never come with fog lights and you've retrofitted fog lights, which we'll move on to in a minute, because you do have to activate it. You can't just put the light in and put a switch in. It won't work. Because obviously modern day cars, the switch isn't connected to the actual thing you're switching on no more. The switch is connected on a very low current to the BCM, which flicks a relay and then turns the lights on. So that's that one. Nice. Dark car. Oh, collision mitigation. Oh, that's what it is. I didn't even read that. Right, I'm ignore what I'm saying there. So that's collision mitigation without cruise control. This hasn't got, you can normally tell what you've got because you can see it in the windscreen there. As you see, it's just, well, that's a camera that we fit into all our cars. That's just got a mirror in there. Normally you'll have a big pack. One sec, I've got another one over there. Here we go. Let's see there, you see that big black space on there, with its sensors in the windscreen. So that's what that is for. It's me getting a bit carried away with myself. Right. So, yeah, because it's got cruise control on there, because look, if we look on the other side, cruise control with cruise control. Look, cruise control. Now you can disable that. If you don't want cruise control, you don't want your kids driving around with it. Obviously you can change the settings and stuff like that, but this hasn't got the radar and the windscreen for you to be changing that, so don't change it. Dark car. A lot of people like this. What dark car is it's actually shipped for the likes of the police. Police cars have them already activated. It actually gets done, obviously, when the car gets retrofitted in the police garages, the attached things to it, the radio, they put the car into what's called a dark mode. And what that does is, if you have a look at the front there, I've got the ignition on there, them headlights are on. The DRLs are on. As you see, look, it's lighting up the dashboard everywhere up over there. What this does is it switches them off. So when your lights are off, you have no lights on at all. When you open the door, the interior lights don't come on. The courtesy lights under the wing mirrors, don't know if this has got them. Yep, you see them, disables all them. And just keep the car in the dark. Right. Let's see. That skipped a bit there, didn't it? Back up to the top. It's a bit cold in here, so my fingers aren't working properly. Right, next. DRLs are allowed choice. This is just to give you an option to switch it on and off, and it's done through, when you switch it on, you can switch the DRLs on from the dashboard. Leave them on. DRLs are actually, if they're fitted on a car, they're required by law to be working. So, don't change them. Right. DRLs include park lamps disabled. No, leave it alone. Right, here's one when people like to retrofit stuff on the car. DRL lights. So you click this. So it's got a dedicated DRL. Now you can change that, what the DRL works from. You can, whether it be the fog lamps, the low beams, higher beams, low and dedicated. These are all interchangeable. You can decide where you have what light to use as DRLs. But maybe you want to change it so the low beam does it, because I know low beams are justifiable bulbs, and they're not those really expensive ones. I had one changed the other day. Where did I put it? There you go. One of these little fuckers. See, they don't look cheap, so they're not cheap, and they are a H15, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, I don't know where the light is. Come on, focus. You can just about make out the H15. Now they're quite expensive. When I say expensive, I mean £9. And people might say £9 is not expensive, but it is compared to the fact when you're buying 501, which is a capless bulb, for 75 pence odd. It's expensive. So you can change whatever you want there. Double honk if you want to annoy your neighbours. It doesn't double honk, it just does a single honk. and it only does it. It's a confirmation that you've locked your car. So when you get out, shut the door, lock it, press the lock button. No, I better turn this ignition off here because I'm still connected here. And then whack it. I can still look at the information on the screen here. It'll honk once to say that the car's locked. It's just a confirmation that you've locked your car, but it's the horn. And if you're coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever time and you pressing that, your neighbours aren't going to be very happy with you. Factory mode, don't know, never used it. I think that's just when they're testing it in the factory, I haven't got a clue. Fog lights remember last position after ignition. So if you, like, say you're driving and you, I don't know, say you do a lot of delivery drive and you know, small package delivering, couriers, you know, and it's foggy and you have your fog lights on, you have to get out, switch the car off, get your parcel off the car, or a delivery driver, delivering pizzas, whatever, I don't care what you've been delivering, you know, if you're in and out of the car, but it's foggy and you want your fog lights on, every time you switch that ignition off, those fog lights aren't going to switch on when you put the ignition back on. You have to remember to put them on. This will remember, you set this and it remembers where it was last time. Fog lights on when high beam is on. That's a standard thing. You might not want it. Some people call it, what's it called? Someone to refer about it once. What it does, it just puts all your lights on the front of the car. But it comes as standard, might not want them. Right. Inhibit, now these ones here, where it says inhibit DRLs with turn lamp, that's for dynamic headlights. So that's what that is there's a zigzag backwards and forwards indicators, but there's also, they're also the DRLs, which are LEDs. Now, you can leave it on so it still stays white as that's going past, but it's the same LEDs and it can look a bit funky. Look a bit fun, but it can look a bit funky. Right, let's have a look. Right, not enabled. Keypad, don't know what keypad it means. Oh, actually, yeah. If I do an option where you don't even use keys, just get any type of code in. I've seen one of those, I think it was on a Vignali that, so it's not something you've got to come across. Lock feedback to, I don't know what, that must be where the double hunk. Yeah, it does. Double beep when you press the, what's the name, or if you've left the bonnet open or something like that, it does give a beep. You can disable it or do whatever you want. If you've got parking sensors on your car, and they're broken, and only that takes one to not be working, and then it can be a bit of a pain in the arse every time you put car into reverse, or if you could be you can switch it off on the dashboard. There's an option to switch off the parking sensors on the what's the name, but it'll just come back on again the next time you put it into reverse. Disable it that way. Right. PowerPoint feature. Now what that is the likes of your cigarette lighter. So when you lock the car, when you get out, lock the car, the cigarette light stays on for a bit. And it also gives you the option to run your radio. Switch it off if you don't want it. I don't know why you bother, because it's not going to affect you. PowerPoint timeout. That's how long you get. With what we're talking about, with those options still running, and then eventually it'll shut down. Most Fords, the body control module will shut everything down inside in the car after 45 minutes. Nothing will be running apart from the alarm. Puddle lamps. That's the thing on the bottom of your wing mirror, the light that will turn them on. Rain sensor. Now, this hasn't got rain sensors on it because obviously I've just showed you in the windscreen, all that's there as a rear view mirror. You could have them on your car, you get a new windscreen, and the difference between this windscreen and this windscreen on this car and that windscreen on that car over there, replacement, is I think these 195 plus fitting, the offer these ones, and they're 400 and odd plus fitting. So what a lot of people do is, rather than You know, I wouldn't personally, I'd put the right windscreen because I want my modules on the window. I want the toys the car come with. Some people go for the lesser option, just have a normal windscreen in, disconnect the modules and tuck the wires up into the headliner. But you'll get information on the dashboard saying malfunctions. This is where you disable it. Rear fog lights, some countries don't allow fog lights on the rear, some do. Disables it here. Right. Remember high beams, last state. Again, same with the fog lights. When you're driving and you want to turn it off, get out the car, get back in again, your fog light's going to be off. This just remembers where it was up to last. Right. Rear fog lights, enable. Remember how. Remoteless keyless entry. Right, I don't know why this is enabled this because this hasn't got keyless entry. It definitely hasn't got keyless entry. Now, obviously everyone's heard about the big problem that Fords have with cars getting stolen. What they do is they come up to your front door and they pour a transmitter. Well, it's a receiver transmitter. What it does, it's a big plate, picks up the signal from your key and projects it to the car. And they go over to your car and you just go over. When the car detects you there, bang, open the car, they're in. And they're off with your car. So, I'd say there's a big idea to disable that in your car because it stops that one. They're still going to steal your car if you want to because they'll break the window. That's just as simple as it is. And people say, oh yeah, but the alarm will go off, blah, blah, blah. Or if they want to, what they'll do is they'll take the cap off, barrel the lock. They've got 10 seconds to get the ignition started. Now, the program that we've actually got one, I'm not going to get it out, I'm not going to show it to anybody because I'm not letting criminals see what you need to buy to be able to do this because a lot of people don't know how to do it. I know how to do it. I've got the equipment in your toolbox over there. You know, I know how to do that. I'm not telling anybody else how to do that because I'm not being party to people stealing other people's cars. If you've got keyless start, disable it. My advice. Remote start. Now, we've got one of these. We actually bought a replacement key to see if it'd work. And what it is, it only works on keyless cars, so cars that don't use the key in ignition. Obviously the same as the cars that use keyless entry. It has an extra button on it, and you press it and starts the car up. Ideally, if you want to warm your car up before you go outside. It's actually illegal in this country because you can't have a car running while you're not in it. You know, technically you can't be parked up with your engine running in this country. You can be fine. I live in Liverpool, and we had going off on a bit of a tangent here. We had a company, what was it called? They were the tickets enforcers, listening enforcers. They also then got it was a private company and everyone hated them. There was a big Facebook campaign and they were eventually driven out because they were chasing little old grannies down the street. You know, put their hands in the pocket, pull their hands out the pockets and a little bit of tissue gone on the floor and then throwing 80 quid fines at them. They were just arseholes, proper arseholes. But they also got the contract to get two people for being parked up with their engines running. And we had loads of taxi drivers getting tickets and they were parked up waiting for customers to get in the car. Literally the customer would be getting in and he was like, oh yeah, fine, you're leaving your engine running. You know. So technically it's not, because it's against the law to leave your engine on while it's not why are you not using it? How do you enforce it? Because you'd have to prove that they weren't using it or it wasn't required to be running, blah, blah, blah. But you can actually get a key. Anyway, I'm going, like I said, a tangent. You can get a remote start. It's a normal Ford key, normal Ford keyless key, and it has an extra button to start the car. But you need to enable it on it with this. Start the car up, you come out, the car's nice and warm. So you might want to do it like half an hour earlier or out. Well, these warm up quite quick, so it's probably like 10 minutes early. We go down, see what else we've got. Remote start, parking lights, doesn't make any difference. Smart unlock is, again, smart unlock. I don't know what smart unlock is. I have to have a little investigation on that. I don't know what that is myself. Right. I've already done a video when it comes to disabling tyre pressures. Obviously that's why this one's 0 and it's disabled here. I don't know if you can see that. Right. You can also, this is if you've replaced the body control module, you can change the VIN. Obviously you'll input it, but you should have done that, when you're doing that you should back it up anyway. Circumference, tyre circumference. You can, if you put bigger wheels on your car, and what it does, it just calibrates your wheels with your speed out. Turn signal if fog lights are on. Well, yeah, that's, well, so you should. you still need to indicate when your fog lights are on, so that should be on anyway. So that's that one. So that's everything really in the body control module. So stop here, stop that, because done all that. Now we're going to go to, let's see what else we got. Right. Initialize and relaying sensor conversion agent. Now if you put a new body control module in this, when you put that key in ignition, nothing's going to work. So you will need to initialize the PCM. What it'll do is it'll integrate everything, because it won't communicate with it. It will communicate, but it'll say, "No, I don't know you, I'm not talking to you," and just ignore it. You got, if you go up here, this will give us the modules, and this will tell you what everything is. That's inside the car, where they are, how to use them, heated steering wheel and stuff like that. Now that's another thing, if you've got, as you can see, when you scroll down here, no, these are reset services, wrong one. These other things, there's not much you can change. One second, I need to put the ignition on because it's not going to read that. Scan, turn it back on again. Some of these don't give you any actual things that you can change in the car. If you want to turn off folding mirrors, put the light type of bulb. Side turn indicator type is LED, but that's only on the back. On the front, the normal bulbs. So nothing of interest in there. Now all these as-built formats. Well, all the as-built. So if you replace a module and put it in a car, whether it be radio module, a set of clocks, a boot module, a steering wheel module, any kind of module, you need to do an as-built format. What it'll do is it'll wipe it and then it'll set it up, and then what it'll do is it'll pull its information. So if you've got a car that needs, and you're going to replace loads of different things on it, do one at a time, right? Because if you change two, say you change your radio and your body control module, you put it in, and you do as-built format, it'll try and communicate with everything in the car, but one of them things, say you're formatting the BCM, and you change the radio as well, it won't be able to communicate with the radio, so it'll fail. So only do one at a time, and I know it's long-winded, unless you're getting everything from the same car. But again, what the problem that you're going to have then is if you take everything out, there's a lot of things that are interlaced with each other. People think, oh, I want to change the BCM, but I don't want to pay out on software. I want to change the power control module, well, the ECU, body control module, and I've got new keys that all parts of the car. There's always something inside the car that needs to be paired to it, and it's normally, believe it or not, is the ABS module or the ABS pump, and there's a bastard to take off. For the energy that you're going to go into, you might as well get the software. Like I said, you can buy the module, the interface, 15 quid, 14 quid, 15 quid-ish, depends on which model you get, and Bob's your uncle, you'll have. You need to be very meticulous about what you do with this. Be very careful. There's a lot of things. When given the option, always back up what you're doing beforehand. Along here. So in our service, obviously, you do a static regen. if you've got a, sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. If you've got a car and you need to be doing static regen, you've got something else that's wrong. I'll go over that in another video. People waste money on terra cleans and we guarantee to fix your what's name. And I'm talking out of their asses, they don't care, they just want you to give them 150 quid. They'll stick their machine on and then 2 weeks later they'll go, it's blocked again, and they go, oh yeah, it must be your fuel. You know, you've given them 150 quid for doing something that you could have done for 14 quid. Now, I'm not saying you should be doing regens with a computer all the time, because you shouldn't. You shouldn't be doing regens with a computer at all. Your car should be regen. If it's not, there's something wrong with the car, or it's something wrong with your driving. But this will do it. Fuel injector correction factors, they're the little numbers on top of your fuel injectors if you're replacing them. If you're replacing your injectors on a Ford Mondeo, or any car at all, right, only ever program them in if they're brand new. If you've gone to the scrapyard and got a second-hand set and put it in, don't program them. Just put them in and get on with your day. The simple fact being is they're a one-time use only code. If you change it, they'll think, the car will think, oh, brand new, what's the name? They're the correction factors, throw the fuel at it. And then what you'll find is that the worn, because injectors wear, and you're going to be over fuel, you're going to end up load the engine knock, and you're going to be goosed. So, changing injector correctors, variable adaptation. Now, this is if you replace the turbo. If you need to be doing this, you need to replace the turbo. Simple fact being, if it's going to be because you've got a build-up of rust or a build-up of soot, give it a hammer down the motorway, get it nice and hot, you know, hammer up, low, up, out, no, so just get the turbo working, it'll clear any rust. If that's not working, your turbo needs to be taken off, cleaned or reconditioned. If you're taking your turbo off, you might as well get it reconditioned fully, and then you're never going to have a problem again for another 100,000 miles. Differential pressure. Only do this if you're changing the sensor. This is normally the reason people have problems with the DPFs. And then they just go to someone, oh yeah, I've got blocked, oh, terra clean, I'll come out and I'll do it for you. Buzzing, give us some money, all done, and then it's blocked again. It's normally something to do with this, or, again, it could be to do with the temperature sensor. You might have a faulty temperature sensor. These have 1, 2, 3, 2 temperature sensors and 2 lander sensors, 2 oxygen sensors. One of them could be broken, that's what causes it. Or, believe it or not, a faulty thermostat housing can cause blocked DPF. The simple fact being, if your engine's not getting hot enough, it won't do a regen. If your thermostat's not closing properly, the engine's not going to get up to its temperature properly. Especially on these older Mondeos, the Mark 4s, they suffered really badly with that. Throttle it. Now, if you've cleaned it all, your throttle, throttle body, I know it's a diesel, but you still have a throttle body, and what it is, again, if that's not working properly, you're going to have problems with your DPF. Take it off. I'll do a video. I think I've got an old one of these. Yeah, that's a Mark 5 Mondeo engine. That's actually got a blown bone. I'll go over that. I'll do a video on that one. That was a very interesting one. Ford's in what's the name? Well, not Ford. It was Peugeot actually. Put a plastic sump on them, right next to the exhaust. That gets hot when you're going down the motorway and melts your sump. It was very exciting. High pressure fuel. Always reset this if you do a fuel filter change. Reset it. And you'll always find your engine runs a lot better if you reset the fuel pressure sensor, the high fuel rail, because you've disturbed the high fuel rail. You know, you've let it go and dry. You should never do. You should always prime it first, but not everyone has the equipment to do that. Water and fuel indicator. Now, I've never had to set one of those ever. I've never had them come out. We service our cars when they're supposed to be serviced, so we don't have that issue. But if you do get that, what's the name, obviously, it puts up a code, a light up and says, I'm assuming it doesn't like going off. DPF lane values. Nice. This is for if you've got a new DPF, you put a new DPF on the car. And if you've put a new DPF on the car, you've done it in the garage, because there's no way you're doing that on your doorstep. It's not possible. Because they put them so close. I mean, I can't even show you. I'll tell you what. See that bracket there? That big rusty bracket? That's where the DPF goes in. It goes in there sideways and loops up with a catalyst converter and bolts onto the side of the turbo. You're not doing that on the street. It's not possible. I don't care what anyone says, you're not doing it on the street. And then you have PCM reset. If you've got like you do a PCM reset, what you do is your next drive cycle, it learns all its values. Again, would you be asked? You know, unless you change something, wouldn't bother. Unless you've done a fuel filter change, I've been known to do that after fuel filter changes, reset everything, and the car does run a little bit better. Right, we're going to ignore that, we don't need to be doing nothing there. Right, local interconnection network, new module, calibration, where it does calibrate everything to the car. Simple, TPS learning. If you've kept your tyre sensors and you put new ones on, or you've changed the type of them that you are, like I said, this one, I haven't said like that was on another video. This car had the ones on that actually display the tyre pressures on them. Not all of them have it. This is what it is, put into a learn mode. There's a way you can do it with the car, but battery monitoring reset. Always do this when you change your battery, and always do it when you change your alternator as well. Always do that. These two things that you should always change. These ABS, just test the system. Maintenance mode. This, you want to do this if you're doing brake pads. It's the last thing you want to do. You put it in maintenance mode. What it'll do is it'll wind your calipers back, change your pads, put them back on again, and then obviously exit mode. These are a little bit in depth. You're not going to be using stuff like that because this is when you're getting deep into messing around with the ABS, and you shouldn't really be doing that because it's going to screw things up. ABS service bleed. You will use this. You'll actually use this sensor, calibrate the lateral sensors. This, detects, when you're pressing the brake, the tilt of the car and the roll of the car and stuff like that. It will reset it. Sometimes if you scan the car, you get a code and you'll have a minus what's in the car sitting perfectly straight. That's all it does is reset it. Service bleed. If you replace a flexi or you replace a caliper on the car, you do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, if you've done it and you've gotten your foot put onto the floor and you've drained your reservoir, your ABS pump's now gone dry. So when you put your new caliper on or your new, you bleed it as normal. Then you need to do an ABS service bleed, and what it'll do is that'll make sure there's no air bubble, because obviously there's little chambers inside the ABS pump, and you need to get them, that'll have bubbles, you need to get them out. That's the service. Rest are all module resets. Crash flag reset. You only have 5 goes at this, right? You only have 5 chances of resetting, and it's, where is it set? Oh, it's in the ABS module. Not the ABS module, the airbag module. Oh yeah, because obviously if you look here, it says RCM, restraint control module. So if you have an accident and you've had deployed airbags, or you'll always get a crashing event, and it'll always be in there. It won't go away. Normal scanning won't get rid of it. There's softwares you can use to get rid of it. Ford IDS will reset it. And you can, Ford IDS, they'll reset it as many times as you want. With this, it'll only let you do it 5 times. If you crash in your car 5 times, you shouldn't be driving. Sorry. The rest of them are all module resets. And that's it. GPSM, module reset, obviously. Clocks reset. And that's all it. You also have live data. Live data's dead easy to use. So obviously, you're only going to really rerun. I mean, apart from when you're doing ABS, if you've got an ABS light and you want to measure, or you keep getting an ABS light and you've replaced wires and you can't understand why, you do this, and when you go for a drive, it'll show you the rolling of the wheels. So it'll give you a better idea. So power control module, and what you do is you click your star, and you can add all these. All these can be added over across onto here. It populates all these blocks. and you can either have it in numbers, oscilloscope, which gives you the line, or table. I'll give you a different what's name. You can change your kilopascals to PSI and stuff like that in the settings. Kilopascals are used because certain pressures are so minute, but at so minute of a difference that PSI doesn't really register it. So your kilopascals, obviously, it's a smaller unit. You can see what's going on. You use that, then you press start, and then you start the car. Obviously, I need to switch the solar, but I'm not going to do that because we're not actually going to test nothing. So, look, it wants me to do it now. I'll mess with it. Oh, go away. DTCs. You clear all the DTCs. You will always get, it's normally, where's it gone? This external memory card, that's because someone took the memory card out of the sat nav. Instrument panel, that's because I've messed with the what's name. All these can be reset. Tire pressure sensor, that'll clear that. When you clear that, that won't come back on again. That just means that one of the sensors is broken on the car. There's a what's the name and it loses it. It's the trunk module. Where is it? That's revolt. Rear gateway module that's in the boot. They just lose it. Doesn't affect the car in the slightest. Don't mess with it, because I always find if you start messing around with the trunk module, you start having issues with there's a light in the boot and it goes nuts. I don't mean just like a little bit nuts, it goes fucking off it, ban it. Whether the ignition's on or off or doing whatever, and it will just keep doing it. Not worth it, leave it alone. Right, that's like a very long video now, so my fingers are getting a little bit cold, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Done enough work today, stay a bit late to do this video. If you enjoyed it, like it. If there's anything in particular that you'd like to know how to do, there is certain things you can do. You can make the lights do different things inside the car. You know, there's forums out there. If you want to know how to do it and you can't find it, I'm more likely going to be able to find it because I have looked a lot. Turn that auto data off. I'll just close the laptop. What I will suggest though, if you do do this, is don't use a cheap nasty laptop. Because when it writes the information to the body control modules or one of the other modules, if the laptop dies or freezes, it's going to fuck you up. You're not going to be able to start your car. So don't use something that's going to break. Don't use an old Windows XP laptop that battery dies. Always have the power connected to it. Always have the power connected to it. Even if it's got a dead good battery, still do it, because the last thing you want to do is the laptop going to sleep while it's in the middle of writing to the BCM or the ECU or whatever, because it does that, it'll just corrupt the information that it's doing. And if you haven't backed it up, you're fucked. Well, you're not fucked, it can be fixed, but you know, that's more messing about. So yeah, if you like this, subscribe, give us a like. Any questions, give us a comment.